Hey, how's it going? This is Rob from Justin's Toys, and today I'm going to show you how to make the Symphony bracelet. This was designed by Jay Alvarez, who goes under the Instagram handle JS Alvarez, and he also made the corset bracelet, which you can watch a tutorial on by clicking right here. So, if you look at this bracelet, it's reversible. This is the other side. And this is the other side. And it consists of 3 different layers, which really makes it quite unique in that you can create an infinite amount of color combinations. And the downside is though that you need 8 bar pins, which is 3 looms. So if you don't have that, find a friend, have a party, make one of these bracelets because it's super cool. So let's get started. To set up your loom for the Symphony bracelet, you want to match this layout right here. It requires 8 bar pins and as many bases as you possibly can put on. Take a look. The 2 center bar pins are perfectly aligned, where the 2 outside bar pins are staggered up 1 peg. And I'm just going to flip it over so you can pause the video and match the same exact output. So pause at this moment, and once you're set up, you can resume. Okay, so now that your setup is complete, you want to start on this end where the arrow is facing away from you, and at this point, we are going to choose the colors for our border, which is this right here. And my colors are going to be rainbow for the border. So starting with your first rainbow band or sequence of rainbow, I'm going to connect that 3rd row first peg to that 3rd row 2nd peg straight on. Then I'm going to connect that 3rd row first peg to that 2nd row 2nd peg, just like this. Then I'm going to continue outwards, connecting these 2 pegs with the same color, which is going to be pink. So one over here, one over here. And this is kind of like a starburst when you create a border. You're just going to continue this on 1 peg at a time around the perimeter of the loom setup. Next color. And just go one in front of the other until you reach the 2nd to last peg on this row. Okay, so now that we are at the 2nd to last peg on these outside rows, you want to grab your next color, but instead of going straight, you're bringing it back into the center. So diagonally towards the right on the left, and diagonally towards the left on the right. And at this point, we're just going to push forward and go back to the beginning. And we're ready to apply our 2nd layer, which is kind of like the feather parts. Okay, so at this point, we're going to grab our first color. You want to really pay attention to the order that you're applying these bands. The first band that I'm going to apply is black, which is going to go on the bottom. The 2nd band is going to be silver. The 3rd band is going to be white. and the fourth band is going to be white. Okay? The next sequence, since I want the silver to be on the top always, is going to start the other way. So black is now going to start, but it is going to go on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to create a zigzag pattern up over here. Okay? So next, black is on the bottom. 1. See, silver's on the top. 2, 3, 4. Next is going to be black on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Next is going to start this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're just going to continue this all the way down the line until you hit the end. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now that we reached the end, we are only going to do these crossed ones in the center. We don't have to apply the whites on. So again, black is on the bottom and silver is on the top. Okay, so now we are ready to apply our third layer, which are going to be the silver on this one or the blacks on this one. And going back to the front, all of the bands on my third layer are going to be black. And what you want to do is, starting from the third set in, which is right here, you want to take one black band and place it on the center. Actually, since everything seems so congested right now, I'm going to take my hook or use my fingers to push everything down. Just to make space for that third layer. Okay, now back to the front. Alright, so I'm going in on the center 2 pegs, 3 pegs in, and I'm placing one black on these 2 pegs. The second band of the sequence is just going to go up diagonally to the right, and the third band is going to go diagonally up to the left. Okay? So then the next 2 center pegs, then one up to the right, then one up to the left. And you are just going to follow this same 3-step sequence all the way down to the end of the loom, just like we did the other 2 layers. Okay, so this is gonna be our last set. 1, 2, 3. And to finalize it, we're gonna go back to our rainbow, which was ending at pink. And over here, the next color in the sequence is going to be orange. We are going to grab 2 bands, okay? And one at a time, we are going to cap them, which means double loop, and place them on these 2 center pegs. So there's 1, cap it, and there's 2. And that is the final band that we are applying onto the loom. And we are at the point where we can begin looping. We are going to turn the loom around so that the arrow is now facing towards you. And we're going to start on this side. And the first band you're going to grab is one of the cross bands in the center. Always start with the black. I'm going to go inside this double cap set of bands right here. Grab just that black. Get around this corner right here. It's going to be kind of tense. And we're just going to bring it up straight to that second peg right there. And then we're going to do the same exact thing with the silver on this side. Just grab that silver, bring it up, and straight to that second peg. Now the second set of bands we are going to loop are these diagonal bands that are black. And starting over here, you want to grab just that diagonal band from inside this top silver, swing around this peg, and bring it back down to itself. And if you did it right, it will only be grabbing one single band. And you want to do the same exact thing on the other side, which is this black. Swing around and bring it back up and over itself, just like that. So far we looped 4 bands. And the last thing you want to do in the sequence is get inside this single black right here and grab this white that's going diagonal under here. So we're going inside this single black, grabbing just that white, bring it up and over and back to itself. Back over here, again inside that first top black, grab just that single white, bring it up and back to itself. So those are the 6 bands that make up the sequence, and we're just going to be doing that all the way down the line. I'm going to explain a whole sequence 2 more times before I'm just going to do everything really fast. Alright, so again, we're going inside here, starting with that bottom black one, which is right there. This black one is the one that I'm grabbing, but I'm going to grab it from inside all of these bands, and that there should only be 1 band left to grab. Bringing that up, but straight forward, not back to itself. Okay, same with over here. Get in front of all of those bands, grab just that silver, and bring it straight forward. Then the 2 diagonal blacks, just going and grabbing that single black and bringing it back to itself. Swing around this peg, back to itself. Over here, just that single black, swing it around, bring it back to itself. And the last one of the sequence, get inside this black and grab just the white and bring it up, back to itself. Get inside here, grab just that single white, no other bands, and bring it up and back to itself. So that was sequence number 2. Sequence number 3, again, start with the black band on the bottom. As you can see, there's a black and there's a silver. You want to start with the black. Get in front of all of those bands and grab just that black and bring it straight forward. Same with over here. Just the silver, straight forward. Then over here, we're grabbing just the black, bringing it down, back to itself. Over here, just the black, bring it back to itself. Okay. And then back in here and grabbing just the white up into itself. Over here, just the white. Sometimes the black gets tangled, but if you just go into the peg and do one of these, the white will naturally come back to the top. Grab the white and bring it back to itself. Okay? I'm just gonna do it in this angle as well, just so you get a better look. Starting with this black that's on the bottom, get in front of all those bands, grab just that black, bring it straight forward, just like that. Again over here, in front of all of these bands, grab that silver, bring it straight forward, just like that. Then over here, we're just grabbing this single black, swing around, bring it back to itself. Over here, just that single black, swing it around, bring it back to itself. And then over here, we're going in front, grabbing that white and only that white, bring it back to itself. Then over here, grab just that single white. Make sure you don't grab that black and bring it back to itself. Alright? So I'm just going to continue this all the way down the line. We'll do it this way one more time before I speed through. Okay, so we are getting to the last one now. As you can see, that is the last step of that last sequence. But we still have these two cross right here, and we're just going to bring them up like we did before. Okay, so you can kind of consider that as the stars in the starburst, And now that the center is completely looped, we can go back to the beginning and loop up our border. And this is pretty simple if you know how to do the starburst. We're just going back to the beginning. You can start on either the left peg or the right peg. I'm just grabbing that one color border, bring it up and over to itself. Then get inside the second peg, get in front of all of the bands except that bottom band and bring it up over itself. Third peg in front of all of the bands, grab that bottom, bring it up and over itself. And we're just going to continue this all the way down the line until we reach the end. And then we're going to go back to the beginning and do the other side. Okay. Bring it up to right here, and right here we're going to bring up the red in front of all of these bands. Grab that red, pull it up back to itself. That's where it ends. Now we can go all the way back to the beginning and do the same exact thing on this side. So we're going in that capped, bring it up and over, and doing the same exact thing on this side. Okay, so this is the last one. Make sure you go in front of all of these bands. Grab that red, bring it up, get around those corners and over. And that is all of the looping. So let me zoom out. And if you did it right, it should all look like this. So the ones up top should look like a teardrop. Make sure they do. Ones on the bottom should look like a teardrop. And in the center, it should have this kind of like interesting pattern. Okay, now we can grab a C-clip, go back to that end, and clip these four ends. Right here is probably the easiest because they all overlap. So I'm just going to take my hook, have the groove on the bottom, go in and just push down. Just like that. Make sure I have all four ends, and I do. And at this point, we can start removing the bracelet from the loom. I'm just going to take the ends off first. So starting over here, we'll just pull off each one. If this is too difficult, you can just take your hook and do it like that, but it's not difficult at all for me, so I'm just gonna alright. So once I have that side, I'm gonna do the other side. Alright, I'll go with this right here. Go back over here. And make sure you have it so that you have the clip grabbing on all four ends. And then we can pull this off and then pull the rest of it off. Pretty easy. And there you have it. So the thing about this bracelet is that there's going to be a lot of loose parts. And what I've done in the past, and what was recommended by Jay, is you can use the sailor's pinstripe variation method to tighten up all of the loose bands if you don't like loose parts. Alright, so once you get that last one, you can also clip that onto that C-clip and tug on it. And then clip the other end. Okay, clip it back to that initial set of double cap bands. And there you have the completed Symphony bracelet. And you can tell how different they look depending on what colors you choose.